Good evening and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Victoria Lane. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian says the only way to end the ongoing conflict in the Middle East is for the international community to recognize what he calls Iran's legitimate rights and provide guarantees against future aggression. In a post on social media platform X, the Iranian president said the war was ignited by the Zionist regime and the United States. Pezeshkian added that during recent talks with leaders from Russia and Pakistan, he reaffirmed Iran's commitment to regional peace. However, he also demanded reparations and firm international guarantees to prevent further attacks on Iran. His comments come as diplomatic efforts continue, alongside rising military tensions across the region. Meanwhile, Iran has launched fresh strikes across parts of the Middle East, as tensions with the United States and Israel intensify, fueling fears of a wider regional conflict. Iranian missiles and drones reportedly targeted ships, infrastructure, and other strategic sites in the Gulf region, disrupting key trade and transport routes. The escalating attacks have shaken global markets, with oil prices climbing sharply amid concerns over potential disruptions to the vital Strait of Hormuz shipping route. Analysts warn the ongoing conflict could trigger energy shortages, rising inflation, and further economic instability worldwide if hostilities continue. Governments across the region are closely monitoring the situation as international pressure mounts for de-escalation. U.S. President Donald Trump has suggested that the war with Iran could end soon, saying there is practically nothing left to target following extensive U.S. and Israeli strikes. Speaking in a brief interview with Axios, Trump claimed the outcome of the war is largely in his control, adding that it could end anytime I want. His remarks come amid mixed messages from Washington about the objectives and timing of the conflict. At the same time, the administration faces growing domestic political pressure and concerns over the war's impact on global markets. Iranian forces, however, continue to challenge U.S. and allied operations in the region, indicating the conflict remains far from resolved. Here in Pakistan, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has held a phone call with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian to reaffirm cooperation and diplomatic coordination between the two countries amid rising regional tensions. Shehbaz Sharif stressed the importance of dialogue, peace, and stability, highlighting Pakistan's historic and cultural ties with Iran. He also reiterated Pakistan's commitment to deepening engagement at all levels to maintain regional stability. For more on this, we go to our Islamabad correspondent, Sarah William.
Thank you, Victoria. Officials in Islamabad say the call between Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and President Pezeshkian reflects Pakistan's effort to maintain balanced diplomacy during a rapidly escalating regional crisis. Government sources indicate Pakistan is encouraging dialogue between all sides while closely monitoring developments that could affect regional security and trade. Analysts here believe Islamabad is particularly concerned about the economic impact of instability in the Gulf, including potential disruptions to energy supplies. The two leaders also agreed to maintain close consultations as the situation continues to evolve.
Our thanks to Sarah William in Islamabad for that update. Elsewhere, maritime security firms report that 3 commercial vessels have been struck by unknown projectiles in and around the Strait of Hormuz. The Thai-flagged cargo ship Mayuri Nari caught fire after being hit, forcing an evacuation of its crew. 20 sailors were rescued by authorities in Oman, but 3 crew members remain missing. 2 other ships, Japan's One Majesty and the Marshall Islands flagged Star Gwyneth, suffered minor damage, though all crew members on those vessels are reported safe. The incidents highlight growing risks to shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a waterway that carries nearly 20% of the world's oil supply. The U.S. Navy has reportedly declined routine escort requests from commercial ships due to the high level of risk in the area. In a significant diplomatic move, the United Nations Security Council has passed a resolution condemning Iranian missile and drone strikes on Gulf Arab states and Jordan. The resolution describes the attacks as a breach of international law and a serious threat to international peace and security. 13 members voted in favor, while Russia and China abstained from the vote. The resolution calls on Tehran to immediately halt all attacks and reaffirms the sovereignty and self-defense rights of Gulf nations. It also stresses the urgent need to maintain maritime security through the Strait of Hormuz, as tensions in the region continue to rise. And finally, Iran's military has vowed to strike U.S. and Israeli economic targets across the region, including banks, following reported overnight attacks on an Iranian bank in Tehran. The warning was issued by Iran's Central Operational Command as tensions escalate further. Iranian authorities have advised civilians to avoid areas near major financial institutions due to the potential threat of retaliatory strikes. The development raises fresh fears that the conflict could expand beyond military targets and begin affecting critical economic infrastructure across the Middle East. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Victoria Lane.